Imagine discovering a very old map that shows America, made 5,000 years ago in Egypt. It's a surprising find because ancient people didn't know about America back then. This map raises big questions about how ancient people knew about faraway lands and how they connected with each other. Finding this map is not just about history. It also tells us that ancient cultures might have known more and traded ideas over long distances.
These maps were largely based on much older source maps.
Let's look deeper into this ancient map and the theories behind it. Discovery of ancient Egyptian map. The discovery of a 5,000-year-old map of America in Egypt is a fascinating and surprising find that has captured the imagination of many. This ancient map was found in an Egyptian tomb near the famous city of Thebes, known for its rich history and magnificent temples. The tomb belonged to a high-ranking official who lived around 3000 BCE, during the early dynastic period of ancient Egypt. Archaeologists stumbled upon the map while excavating the tomb, which was filled with artifacts and inscriptions. The map was carved on a limestone slab, carefully hidden among other valuable items. Its discovery has led to numerous questions about the extent of ancient Egyptian knowledge and their possible connections with distant lands. The map itself is a detailed representation of the world as the ancient Egyptians might have seen it. It includes familiar landmarks like the Nile River and the Red Sea. What makes this map extraordinary is the inclusion of a landmass that closely resembles the shape of North and South America. This raises the intriguing possibility that the ancient Egyptians had some knowledge of these distant continents long before they were officially discovered by Europeans. Researchers have used various dating techniques, including radiocarbon dating and analysis of the tomb's inscriptions, to confirm the map's age. They estimate it to be around 5,000 years old, which places it in a time when most of the world was still in the early stages of civilization. This finding challenges the conventional understanding of ancient history and suggests that early cultures might have had more advanced knowledge of geography than previously thought. The map also includes various symbols and annotations, some of which are still being deciphered by experts. These symbols might represent trade routes, natural resources, or important cultural landmarks. The inclusion of these details indicates that the map was not merely a decorative piece, but served a practical purpose, possibly for navigation or record-keeping. One of the most intriguing aspects of this discovery is the potential evidence of ancient sea travel. Some scholars believe that the map hints at the possibility that ancient Egyptians or their contemporaries might have undertaken long sea voyages, reaching far-off lands like America. This theory is supported by the presence of ancient ship remains found in Abydos, another ancient Egyptian site, which date back to the same period as the map. The discovery of this map has sparked debates among historians, archaeologists, and scholars. Some are skeptical and argue that the resemblance to America might be coincidental, while others believe that it could indicate a lost chapter of ancient exploration. Regardless of the differing opinions, the map has undoubtedly added a new dimension to our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization and the Americas. Ancient Egyptian civilization, one of the world's oldest, thrived along the Nile River in northeastern Africa. It lasted for over 3,000 years, from around 3,100 BCE when King Menes united Upper and Lower Egypt, until 30 BCE when Egypt fell under Roman rule. This long history is divided into several periods: the early dynastic period, Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom, and Late Period. The Nile River was central to Egyptian life. It flooded predictably every year, leaving behind fertile soil that enabled agriculture to flourish. This reliable food source allowed Egyptians to develop a complex society. They built cities, temples, and monuments along the riverbanks, such as the famous pyramids at Giza, constructed during the Old Kingdom around 2500 BCE. These massive structures served as tombs for pharaohs, the rulers of Egypt, who were believed to become gods after death. Religion played a crucial role in Egyptian life. They worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each associated with different aspects of life and nature. Among the most prominent were Ra, the sun god, Osiris, god of the afterlife, and Isis, goddess of magic and wisdom. Egyptians believed in an afterlife where the soul would live on if the body was preserved. This belief led to elaborate burial practices and the development of techniques like mummification to preserve bodies for eternity. Hieroglyphs, a system of writing using pictures and symbols, were another hallmark of Egyptian civilization. They were used for recording history, religious texts, and administrative records. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, played a crucial role in deciphering these hieroglyphs. It contained the same text in 3 scripts: Egyptian hieroglyphs, Demotic script, and Ancient Greek, allowing scholars to unlock the mysteries of ancient Egyptian writing. Social structure in ancient Egypt was hierarchical. At the top was the pharaoh, considered divine and responsible for maintaining order and justice. Below the pharaoh were nobles, priests, and scribes who managed the administration and religious affairs of the kingdom. Artisans and craftsmen contributed to the flourishing culture by creating beautiful jewelry, pottery, and statues. Farmers and laborers formed the base of society, working the land and building the monumental structures that defined ancient Egypt. The decline of ancient Egypt began with the conquests by foreign powers, such as the Persians, Greeks, and finally the Romans. Each brought new influences and changes to Egyptian culture, leading to the end of its independence as a powerful civilization. However, the legacy of ancient Egypt lives on in its art, architecture, and enduring symbols like the pyramids and the Sphinx, continuing to captivate and inspire people around the world today. The Americas, on the other hand, comprising North, Central, and South America, hold a rich history spanning thousands of years. The earliest inhabitants, believed to have crossed from Asia over the Bering Land Bridge during the last ice age around 15,000 years ago, laid the foundation for diverse cultures and civilizations. In North America, ancient civilizations like the Clovis people left behind distinctive stone tools and evidence of hunting mammoths around 13,000 years ago. Later, the Mississippian culture from 1600 AD developed large mound cities such as Cahokia near present-day St. Louis, evidence of sophisticated urban planning and social structures. Moving westward, the ancestral Puebloans thrived in the arid southwest, constructing intricate cliff dwellings at Mesa Verde around 1300 AD. These dwellings provided protection from both harsh weather and potential threats. In Central America, the Maya civilization flourished between 2000 BC and 900 AD. Known for their advanced mathematics, astronomy, and elaborate city-states like Tikal and Palenque, the Maya built temples and observatories aligned with celestial events. Their hieroglyphic writing system remains partially deciphered, offering insights into their history and beliefs. South America boasts the Andean civilizations, including the Norte Chico civilization from 1800 BC of Peru, one of the oldest known complex societies in the Americas. In modern-day Ecuador, the Valdivia culture from 1800 BC created some of the earliest pottery in the Americas, marking significant advances in art and craftsmanship. The Inca Empire from 1438 to 1533 AD is perhaps the most renowned Andean civilization. Originating in the Cusco region of modern-day Peru, the Inca expanded through military conquest and strategic alliances to create one of the largest pre-Columbian empires. Machu Picchu, a royal estate nestled high in the Andes, showcases their architectural prowess and mastery of stone masonry. Throughout the Americas, diverse cultures developed unique languages, customs, and spiritual beliefs. The Aztecs, based in modern-day Mexico City, founded Tenochtitlan from 1325 AD on an island in Lake Texcoco. They established a powerful empire through military conquest and tribute, constructing monumental temples like the Templo Mayor. European exploration and colonization in the late 15th century brought profound changes to the Americas. Christopher Columbus's voyages from 1492 to 1504 AD marked the beginning of extensive European contact, leading to the Columbian Exchange, a global exchange of plants, animals, and diseases that transformed societies on both sides of the Atlantic. Egyptian maritime capabilities. In ancient Egypt, around 5,000 years ago, marine voyages played a crucial role in their culture and trade networks. The Egyptians, known for their Nile River civilization, also ventured into the Mediterranean Sea, using advanced boat-building techniques and navigational skills. The Nile River was the lifeblood of Egypt, providing fertile lands for agriculture and transportation routes. But beyond the Nile, Egyptians explored the seas. Evidence suggests that as early as the pre-dynastic period, around 5,500 to 3,100 BCE, Egyptians began using boats not just for river travel, but also for coastal and maritime expeditions. These boats were initially simple reed vessels, but later evolved into more sophisticated designs capable of withstanding ocean voyages. By the early dynastic period, around 3,100 to 2686 BCE, Egypt's maritime activities expanded. Excavations at sites like Abydos and Hierakonpolis revealed depictions of boats that could navigate both riverine and sea waters. These boats were crucial for trade, allowing Egyptians to exchange goods such as papyrus, gold, ivory, and exotic goods from Africa and the Levant. During the Old Kingdom, around 2686 to 2181 BCE, Egypt's maritime endeavors became more structured. Expeditions were organized to procure materials like cedar wood from Lebanon for construction projects and to establish trade routes with other civilizations along the Mediterranean coast. Egyptian hieroglyphs and artifacts found in places like Byblos in modern-day Lebanon attest to these early trade relations. The Middle Kingdom, around 2055 to 1650 BCE, marked a peak in Egypt's maritime activities. Pharaohs like Senusret III and Amenemhat III commissioned naval expeditions to explore and secure Egypt's eastern Mediterranean borders. They established fortresses and trading posts in places like Sinai and the Levant, strengthening Egypt's influence in the region. Egyptian maritime skills were further advanced during the New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1070 BCE. Pharaoh Hatshepsut's expedition to the land of Punt, possibly modern-day Somalia or Eritrea, exemplifies Egypt's maritime prowess. The expedition aimed to trade for myrrh, frankincense, ebony, and exotic animals. Inscriptions and reliefs from Hatshepsut's temple at Deir el-Bahari depict the journey and the exotic goods brought back to Egypt. By the late period, around 664 to 332 BCE, Egypt faced challenges from foreign powers like the Assyrians and Persians, impacting its maritime dominance. However, maritime trade remained vital, connecting Egypt to Greece, Phoenicia, and beyond. Connecting this to their known voyages, it's plausible to think that if Egyptians could reach places like Punt, modern-day Somalia, Eritrea, or trade with distant lands like Lebanon and the Mediterranean islands, they might have had the curiosity and ability to explore even further. Perhaps they embarked on an extraordinary expedition across the Atlantic, driven by the same motivations of trade and discovery that led them to other distant lands. Ancient records, such as inscriptions and artifacts, indicate that Egyptians had significant maritime capabilities. However, the idea of them reaching the Americas would require re-examining these records for overlooked clues or new evidence. The supposed map might be one such piece of evidence, suggesting an epic voyage that crossed the ocean. Such a discovery could rewrite history, showing that the ancient Egyptians had contact with the Americas, influencing both cultures in ways we've yet to fully understand. This could explain mysterious similarities between Egyptian and ancient American civilizations, such as pyramid building. Similarities between Egyptian and Mesoamerican cultures. The similarities between Egyptian and Mesoamerican cultures are fascinating, revealing how two civilizations, separated by an ocean, developed similar practices and structures. Despite their distance, both cultures share striking resemblances in their architecture, religious practices, and societal structures. Firstly, consider the pyramids. The Egyptians built the famous pyramids at Giza around 2580–2560 BCE. These grand structures were primarily tombs for pharaohs, demonstrating Egypt's architectural ingenuity. Similarly, the Mesoamerican cultures, particularly the Maya and Aztecs, constructed pyramidal structures. The Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, built around 200 CE, and the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, dating back to the 9th–12th centuries CE, are prime examples. These pyramids were often used for religious ceremonies and as temples, showcasing a shared cultural emphasis on monumental architecture. Religion played a central role in both societies, with numerous gods and elaborate rituals. The Egyptians worshipped gods like Ra, the sun god, and Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Their belief in the afterlife led to practices like mummification to preserve bodies for the journey after death. Similarly, Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Aztecs, worshipped gods like Huitzilopochtli, the sun and war god, and Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god. They practiced human sacrifices, believing it appeased the gods and ensured the sun would rise. This shows a shared belief in powerful deities and the need to maintain cosmic order through rituals. Both cultures also developed complex writing systems. The Egyptians used hieroglyphics, a series of symbols representing sounds and concepts carved into stone and written on papyrus. These hieroglyphs date back to around 3200 BCE. The Maya, from around 300 BCE to the 16th century CE, used a similar system of glyphs, which were also intricate and symbolized various sounds and ideas. These writing systems were essential for recording history, religious texts, and administrative information. Moreover, both civilizations had advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. The Egyptians used their knowledge to align their pyramids with celestial bodies, while the Maya developed a detailed calendar system. The Maya calendar, including the long count, accurately tracked time and celestial cycles, much like the Egyptian calendar based on the lunar and solar cycles. This astronomical expertise was crucial for agricultural and religious purposes. Agriculture was the backbone of both societies, supporting large populations and complex urban centers. The Egyptians relied on the Nile River for irrigation, cultivating crops like wheat and barley. Their agricultural practices date back to around 5000 BCE. Mesoamerican cultures, particularly the Maya and Aztecs, utilized techniques like chinampas, floating gardens, to grow maize, beans, and squash. These agricultural innovations allowed both cultures to thrive and sustain large cities. Thor Heyerdahl's expeditions. Thor Heyerdahl was a Norwegian explorer and writer known for his daring expeditions across the oceans.
Started to build the seagoing vessels. I've been living on this planet
He was born on October 6, 1914, in Larvik, Norway, and had a lifelong fascination with ancient cultures and their abilities to navigate the seas. Heyerdahl's most famous expedition was the Kon-Tiki expedition in 1947. In 1947, Thor Heyerdahl wanted to prove that ancient people from South America could have traveled across the Pacific Ocean to settle in Polynesia. To test his theory, he built a raft made of balsa wood, just like the ones ancient people might have used. The raft was named Kon-Tiki, after an Inca sun god. Heyerdahl and his crew of 5 men set sail from Callao, Peru on April 28, 1947. They faced many dangers, including storms and sharks, but after 101 days and 4,300 miles, they successfully reached the Roroya Atoll in the Tuamotu archipelago on August 7, 1947. This remarkable journey showed that ancient people could have made long sea voyages with simple rafts. In 1969 and 1970, Heyerdahl embarked on another adventure called the Ra expeditions. He wanted to show that ancient Egyptians could have crossed the Atlantic Ocean to reach the Americas. To do this, he built a boat called Ra, made of papyrus reeds, just like the ones ancient Egyptians used. The first attempt in 1969 failed when the Ra broke apart. However, Heyerdahl did not give up. In 1970, he built another boat called Ray Sekou and set sail from Safi, Morocco on May 17th. After 57 days and 3,270 miles, Ra Sekou reached Barbados in the Caribbean on July 12th. This journey proved that ancient Egyptians could have sailed to the Americas. Heyerdahl continued his explorations with the Tigris expedition in 1977 and 1978. This time, he wanted to show that ancient civilizations in Mesopotamia could have traveled to the Indus Valley and Egypt. He built a boat called Tigris, made of reeds, and set sail from the Tigris River in Iraq on November 24, 1977. The Tigris traveled through the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and the Red Sea. However, due to regional conflicts and restrictions, Heyerdahl had to end the expedition early. On April 3, 1978, he burned the Tigris in Djibouti as a protest against the wars and conflicts in the region. This expedition highlighted the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations. Thor Heyerdahl's expeditions were more than just adventures. They were scientific experiments aimed at understanding how ancient people could have traveled and communicated across vast distances. His journeys sparked discussions and debates about the capabilities of ancient civilizations and their potential interactions. Heyerdahl wrote books about his expeditions, including Kon-Tiki, the Ra expeditions, and the Tigris expedition, which became bestsellers and inspired many to learn about ancient history and exploration. Thor Heyerdahl passed away on April 18, 2002, but his legacy lives on. His daring voyages and bold ideas continue to inspire explorers and historians, reminding us of the incredible achievements of our ancestors and the endless possibilities of human curiosity and determination. Join us in celebrating the spirit of exploration and discovery that Thor Heyerdahl embodied throughout his life. Evidence of contact, cocaine, and nicotine in mummies. In the early 1990s, scientists made a surprising discovery while studying ancient Egyptian mummies. They found traces of cocaine and nicotine in the hair, skin, and bones of these mummies. This was shocking because cocaine and nicotine come from plants that grow in the Americas far away from ancient Egypt. How could these substances have ended up in mummies that lived thousands of years before Christopher Columbus reached the Americas in 1492? The discovery began with a German scientist named Dr. Svetlana Balabanova. In 1992, she tested several Egyptian mummies for various substances. To her astonishment, the tests revealed significant amounts of cocaine and nicotine. This finding was first reported in mummies from the Munich Museum in Germany, where Balabanova conducted her research. Cocaine comes from the coca plant, which is native to South America. Similarly, nicotine is found in tobacco plants, which are also native to the Americas. The presence of these substances in Egyptian mummies suggests that there might have been contact between the ancient Egyptians and the people of the Americas long before Columbus's time. This is a very controversial idea because it challenges the established history of global exploration and contact. Skeptics initially dismissed the findings, suggesting contamination or errors in the testing process. However, further tests on other mummies from different collections yielded similar results, reinforcing the credibility of Balabanova's work. For example, Dr. Rosalie David, a renowned Egyptologist at the University of Manchester, also found traces of nicotine in some mummies during her research. One possible explanation for the presence of these substances is that there might have been ancient trade routes connecting different parts of the world, including between Egypt and the Americas. Some researchers speculate that ancient mariners might have crossed the Atlantic Ocean, carrying goods such as coca leaves and tobacco. Pyramid dating controversy. The pyramid dating controversy is about how old the pyramids in Egypt really are. Most people think the pyramids were built around 4,500 years ago, during the time of the pharaohs of the Old Kingdom. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is believed to have been built around 2580–2560 BC, during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. This timeline is supported by most historians and archaeologists who use writings, artifacts, and carbon dating of materials found in and around the pyramids. However, some researchers and alternative historians suggest that the pyramids might be much older. This controversy is fueled by different kinds of evidence like geological studies, ancient texts, and the dating of organic materials found in the pyramids. One key figure in this debate is Robert Schoch, a geologist who examined the Sphinx, which is near the pyramids. In the early 1990s, Schoch suggested that the erosion on the Sphinx was caused by heavy rainfall, which he believed happened around 9,000 years ago. This would make the Sphinx, and possibly the pyramids, much older than commonly thought. His ideas sparked a lot of debate because if the Sphinx is older, it suggests that a sophisticated civilization existed in Egypt long before the time of the pharaohs. The controversy also involves other researchers like Graham Hancock, who supports the idea of an older age for the pyramids. Hancock believes that there was an advanced, lost civilization that built the pyramids and other ancient structures around the world. He argues that this civilization could have had advanced knowledge and technology that has since been forgotten. So how does this connect to the 5,000-year-old map of America found in Egypt? If the pyramids and the Sphinx are indeed much older than traditionally thought, it could suggest that ancient Egyptians, or even an earlier civilization, had more advanced knowledge and capabilities than we currently understand. The map showing America, if proven authentic, could be evidence of this advanced knowledge. It would mean that ancient people had the ability to travel long distances and map lands far across the oceans, something that traditional history does not account for. The map and the pyramid dating controversy both challenge our understanding of ancient history. They suggest that there might be lost chapters in human history where civilizations were more connected and knowledgeable than we realize. If ancient Egyptians or an even older civilization knew about America and built the pyramids much earlier than we think, it would mean rewriting parts of our history books. It would mean looking at ancient civilizations in a new light and acknowledging that they might have had capabilities and connections across the world that we are just beginning to discover. Al-Makrizi's account. Al-Makrizi, an Egyptian historian from the 15th century, wrote about a map that shows America, dating back thousands of years. His account is crucial because it connects ancient Egypt with distant lands across the Atlantic Ocean, challenging conventional views of ancient civilizations. Born in Cairo in 1364, Al-Makrizi meticulously documented historical events and artifacts. He described a remarkable stone map found in Egypt, crafted around 5,000 years ago. This map, etched with precision, depicts not only Egypt and surrounding regions, but also a large landmass resembling America. This discovery baffled historians because it predates Columbus's voyage by millennia. Al-Makrizi's writings provide intricate details about this ancient map. He noted that it was unearthed during his time, revealing insights into ancient Egyptian knowledge and navigational prowess. The map's accuracy in depicting America suggests advanced geographical understanding among early civilizations, far beyond what was previously believed. The discovery challenges traditional notions of ancient geographical knowledge and maritime capabilities. It implies that ancient Egyptians may have had contact or knowledge exchange with distant lands, possibly through trade routes or seafaring expeditions. Al-Makrizi's account underscores the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations, suggesting a global exchange of ideas and information. Moreover, Al-Makrizi's documentation highlights the map's significance in understanding ancient cartography and exploration. It raises questions about how ancient societies acquired such detailed geographical knowledge without modern technology. The map's existence suggests a sophisticated understanding of navigation, geography, and possibly even transoceanic travel in ancient times. Al-Makrizi's meticulous description of the map's intricate details, including geographical features and possibly identifiable landmarks, provides a window into ancient Egyptian perspectives on the world. His account encourages further exploration into ancient cartography and its implications for understanding early civilizations' global interactions. Thanks for watching another episode. While you are still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more quality content.